What's up, guys? This is us back here, Good Cop, Bad Cop Clips. We're here watching another video. Today we have a video of Keshawn Thomas in Albuquerque, New Mexico, approached by the police. Unfortunately, this video may be a little graphic. Mr. Thomas ended up losing his life, and as we stated before, and as we'll always state, we don't think anyone should ever lose their life. So we always start off with that, so that you understand where we come from. We value human life, and we don't think anyone should lose their life due to interactions with police. We always feel like there could always be a better way to solve the issue. However, in this particular situation, he did end up losing his life. So we're gonna play the video. This is our first time, both of us watching the video. So we're gonna run it and talk through it for the first time together. All right.
Yeah, please like, share, subscribe, comment on what you think, based on what we're saying. If you agree, disagree, whatever comment you would like to have, please put it in the comment box. You ready?
Shoot.
All right.
I'm sorry. If there's anything in plain sight.
Thinking that there was a subject in her backyard of the touchy surface in the back door. People are no longer have visual. Hear the subject from it.
Is he in the vehicle right now?
Yeah, he's still in the car. I think I think he's asleep, but I think they're on the passenger side, but he's still asleep in the driver's side.
Is this a gas station?
Yeah, they're at a gas station.
Is he at a pump or is he in a parking spot?
No, I think he's at a pump. Yeah, there you see the pump. I guess he parked there and
yeah, so that's cause for concern. Like, you know what I mean? So at least I wanted to make sure.
How's that cause for concern?
No, I wanted to make sure the cops had a reason to approach his vehicle. You know what I mean? If I work at a gas station and the car pull up and it just never moves, the person never come out to get gas, I might call the cops and say, hey, something might be going on.
Okay.
Yeah, charge 47. So, you need to have someone pick up. Hey man, APD, he's away. Albuquerque police. APD. APD, man. Just step out of the car for me, man. You're not in trouble. Don't even got to start it. Yeah, you're not in trouble.
He said you're not in trouble.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good policing so far.
But then he said, so don't even try to start it. Why you gonna say that? You're not in trouble, so don't try to start it.
I didn't hear what he said.
The cop said you're not in trouble, so don't even try to start it. What is that about? But go ahead. I ain't gonna harp on it.
See, any little thing cops say, but that last
You're not in trouble, but don't even try to start.
Bro, that last video you sent me, all that vulgarity that the pedestrian was saying was cool.
This is something totally different. All right, so the man's getting out the car. He's obviously asleep or been sleeping, but here we go.
He's been out there for 4 or 5 hours? 4 or 5 hours at a pump? Come on, that's out of control.
Go ahead, what are you saying? Go ahead. What'd you say?
The cop said he was out there for 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. You can't block up a business's pump for 5 hours because you taking a nap. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's not even a nap. You went to sleep.
That's not violating the law. He's sleeping.
Yes, it
Maybe,
is. You
maybe,
this is not your property.
maybe he was inebriated.
I don't
And
care. It's not your property. You can't block my pump. I'm a business owner. You can't block my pump for 5 hours because you sleep, because you're inebriated. That's a problem.
Look, the police officer said you're not in any trouble. So that's the first initial statement. So whatever you're saying is null and void because the cop has said
That makes what I'm saying null and void. The business owner is supposed to lose their.
If the cop
Creek, if you own a gas station, people could come pump and block your pumps, not pumping gas for 5 hours, and you're gonna be cool with that.
There's nobody pumping gas at that gas station. Nobody.
You didn't answer my question. You didn't answer my question.
It doesn't matter whether you're cool with it or not.
Why can't you answer my question? I need you to answer my question.
Would I be cool with that? No, I'm not cool with that.
Okay, so
we're not discussing what we're cool with. We're discussing.
Yeah, we are, because
the law.
That's what caused. I'm sure that's what caused the call.
It may have caused the call. Yes, it probably did. But the cop said you're not in any trouble. So so the cop didn't pull up and say, man, hey man, you've been here for 4 hours. That's a violation of. He said you're not in trouble. So why are you making a big deal about that?
Because listen. If he was there 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes even, I'd be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? That's no big deal. He dozed off. He pulled up to get gas. I'm tired. You could have been tired. He didn't even have to be inebriated. I've been tired late on the road. You close your eyes for a second and you doze off because, I'm sure that state you got to go in and pay for the gas and pump it yourself because there's no attendance out there. But if you park there for 4 to 5 hours, that's ridiculous.
Not right. That's not cool. It's not cool.
All right.
That's okay.
You're obviously drunk. You don't have a seat, do what I'm telling you, then we can do this hard way.
There we go. He says 2 things. One, he asked him to sit down, and the guy refused, said, I don't need to sit down. Then the officer says, you're obviously drunk. And then he says, we can do it. You don't sit down, we can do it the hard way. So it's already, threatening behavior there. But
what do you mean? But what is he supposed to say? Like, I don't understand you, man. They're the authorities. When they're called, they come there to lay the law down. They don't come to coddle.
They lay what law down? What law are you laying down? This is the problem.
He's on private property for 5 hours.
This is the problem. You do this every video. The cop rolled up. The cop rolled up. He has not said. He says you're not in any trouble. He didn't say, "Hey, this is why I'm approaching you. You've been parked here. That's a violation. It's trespassing." He didn't say any of that. He said you're not in any trouble. Then he asked the guy, "Go sit down over there." Well, if I'm not in any trouble, then why are you giving me directives? Like, I don't have to sit down. If I want to stand up, I've been sitting in my car for apparently, according to you said, let me finish, 4 hours. So what's all with all the tough guy? Well, we do this the easy way or the hard way. Like the dude is just saying, I don't want to sit down on the car over there.
Bro, they obviously came and they were trying to give him a courtesy. Listen, I let you talk. Right? They already got him on driving with open containers of alcohol. They already got him at this point.
Where?
When they walked around the car and remember they was looking through the window, they already saw the cop said he got open containers right there in the the cup holder or whatever.
Okay,
so they already got him.
Not driving.
Listen to what I'm saying. Well, he's at a gas station. He's not at his house. He had to drive there.
It doesn't matter.
He's at a gas station. You can use that excuse if you're on private property, or if you're parked on a regular street, and you could say, I just came and sat in my car to drink my beer. He's at a gas station. That means he drove there and he has to drive off. He can't stay there. So you can't use that in this circumstance. If he was on a regular street where you could park overnight, he could say that. You cannot say that parked at a gas station pump.
I disagree, but let's move forward.
No, it's not about disagree. See, you're going off of feeling. I'm going off of logic. If somebody is at a gas station,
I'm not going off of feelings.
If somebody's at a gas station drinking and parked at the pump, that tells you he either pulled up drinking or he has to pull off drinking because he can't stay there. He cannot stay there.
No. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Because we ain't gonna get through it. It's only been 3 minutes.
Very just good. Let's when it comes to what the hell are you doing? You got open containers in your crate, but that's not here for 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, it's an open container. Right in the cup holder, dude. I'm not playing these games with you.
See?
All right, dude. I haven't given you guys a hard time. Shoot. Yeah, you did. I told you to take a seat. You said no. Then you want to play fucking dumb. So you're not an open container when it's right there in the cup holder.
That inflammatory. Come on, man. He talking.
Yeah, because they're trying to give him a break and
you
he's being a
justifying that
jerk.
language. You justifying
They're trying to give him a break and he's being a jerk.
Okay. So you justifying
They
that.
already saw the bottles.
So you
they already saw the open containers.
So listen,
Bro,
are you
they already
justifying that?
They already saw the open containers and still told him he's not in trouble. They was going to give him a break, but now he's being a jerk.
This is exactly how people. This is exactly what happens. They get mad because you say, "Nah, I don't want to do that."
Yeah.
I'm not sitting on that.
If I'm giving you a break and you playing me, of course I'm gonna feel some type of way.
He's not giving them a break. He
Yes,
said, he said you're not in any trouble.
No. At this point, he can be detained.
He's already detained. But I'm saying they have not said, they told him you're not in any trouble. This was after they saw the open containers, as they're saying.
They was trying to give him a break.
He's not no trouble. Why you gotta sit where you say to sit? He said I'm staying up. He's not doing nothing to them. Oh, you want to play these effing games? Getting all
He is playing
out
games.
of pocket. That's unprofessional.
But he's playing games.
Unprofessional.
Yeah, you should call it whatever you want, but he's wrong.
Going through a hard time. See that? Why do you think this is a good idea to do that? You realize you can hurt someone doing this.
And he's not.
Don't justify drunk. Justify drunk. Don't justify drunk. I don't know.
So that makes it okay.
I haven't heard it. So don't justify drunk. Yeah, I am drunk. But you couldn't get.
So now he just admitted to being drunk.
He said, I'm having a hard time. I admit,
So
yes.
He admitted to being drunk and he drove his vehicle there.
He said, and he stopped and he stayed there until he slept it off. Sleeping it off.
Can't do that. He can't do that.
All right, man. So what, you wanted to drive home and crash up?
No, he shouldn't have been drinking in the vehicle.
But he was.
Okay, so
what you wanted to do?
So now he got to comply.
So now what?
He has to comply.
Drive your vehicle and crash up and kill someone.
Now he has to comply.
Okay.
You guys finally had a great time. Yeah, it's a right time. I haven't said anything. It's like a better time we've been in the Yeah, but I'm not. You guys fucking up two cars deep. Yeah, because we had a call.
They got a call.
Yeah, well, I'm a man. You guys are man. You guys know that man.
What does that mean? That I could have took that as a threat. You know how men work.
We're not saying we're not me. I'm not even bringing that up.
What did you say?
He said, I'm a man, you're a man, you know how men work. What does that mean, bro? That sounds like a threat to me.
That ain't no threat. He's just saying.
What does that mean, Creek?
What it means is, like, you're telling me to do this. I'm saying I don't have to do that. You know what I mean? That's what it means.
And what does that usually lead to? What does that usually lead to?
And he's saying it doesn't lead to nothing. It's just saying
it leads to confrontation.
He's letting him know.
It leads to confrontation.
He's letting him know that you're bad, like you're a cop, okay, but I'm a man and you're a man. And that doesn't give you any authority over me because
that means number one, it does. Number one, technically it does, because that's the whole purpose of police, is for them to have a higher authority than over the common civilians. That's the whole purpose of police. No. Right. So he's wrong about that. Number two, when I asked you to do something and you said, dog, you ain't telling me what to do. I'm a man, you're a man. That means, okay, let's go.
No, it doesn't mean nothing aggressive.
Bro, that's a threat, bro.
Party, it's not a threat. So if a dude rolls up on you and says, hey, I'm a man, you a man. It don't mean like, oh, time to fight.
No. But not you can't.
Like
That doesn't make sense. I'm gonna ask him, is he okay? Because that doesn't make sense. But if me and a dude is having a disagreement, and you say, "Yo, look, I'm a man and you a man," I'm gonna say, "Okay, so what you trying to say? What you want to do?" That's what my response is gonna be.
Okay. All right. So let me move forward.
That's how you know I agree with this. It's like, no, sure, right? That's your problem. No, what the fuck my my problem is don't hit me with aggression. Don't hit me with aggression.
Yeah.
That's not the way fucking police work.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, this is don't ask me what the fuck my problem is.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit me with what the fuck my problem is.
Exactly.
It could just charge him.
Exactly.
He's already wrong. They can't
He's
just
fooling
charge him.
them. That's not the way you talk to people. That's not the way police work. So that's not the way it works. You don't talk about what the F is your problem. He's absolutely right.
Listen, I'll agree. The cop shouldn't have been using the profanity.
Yeah,
I agree. The cop shouldn't have used the profanity. But
it's not just the profanity.
outside of the profanity, everything he's saying correct. He should have just asked him, "Yo, what's your problem? We trying to give you a break. We already got you.
No.
You being a jerk.
Absolutely not. It's not just the
Not being a jerk, Creek.
Take the profanity out, and you're still wrong,
bro.
Because you insinuating somebody has a problem. There's no problem. He's leaning up against his car.
No. He's not insinuating. He's
not being aggressive. He's not saying.
I'm gonna let you talk. Let me know when you were done.
Okay.
Let me know when you're done.
I will. He's not being aggressive. He's not doing anything inflammatory. And because he's saying, I don't have to sit on that curb when you've already told me I'm not in any trouble. And then you ask him, what the F is your problem? Remove the F word and say, what is your problem? There is no problem. You said I'm not in any trouble. I would sleep in my car. If you have a problem with me sitting in the car for 4 hours, then just write a citation and say, we're giving you a citation for whatever the law states and hand it to him. You trying to dig into this guy's like, what's your problem, dude? Or what the F is wrong with you? That's inflammatory. It escalates the situation. The police job is to de-escalate. And that's what the guy is trying to tell them. What the way you guys are acting is not proper police behavior. And it's true. And you can defend that if you want, man, but they're escalating it. He's not.
Are you done?
Go ahead, man. But see, that's type stuff you do.
You just said go ahead. How you gonna say go ahead and then not let me speak?
You just waiting to unleash something. But go ahead. Yeah, I'm done.
Of course, because you just unleashed. I'm not supposed to unleash.
Nah, you waiting to unleash.
No, because I said I'm gonna let you speak.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna speak.
Okay,
I'm not supposed to wait.
Go ahead. And I'm gonna ask
the problem right now is that I'm
gonna
waiting for you to finish your point, so I can say my point.
I'm gonna let you talk. Then I'm gonna say, "Are you done?" And then I'm gonna play the video. Okay,
no problem.
Go ahead.
No problem.
Go ahead.
The reason the cop, like I said, the profanity probably wasn't necessary. However, him asking him what's his problem is because, dude, we already saw, first of all, they were around his car, flashlights on, he was completely knocked out, right? He didn't roll down his window, he didn't say, hey, what are you guys doing? Nothing. They already caught him with the open canisters in the car. They still gave him a break and told him he's not in trouble, and just ask them to comply with what they're asking for. Because they already had him dead to rights. They already had him dead to rights because you either drove here drunk or you're planning on driving off drunk or you're planning on staying here until you sober up, which all three, no matter which case it is, he's wrong and he's not allowed to do, right? So now they're having a conversation with him and he's not complying. So the cop is like, yo, what's your problem? We're trying to give you a break. Like we could take you in at this point. You know what I'm saying? And so he's asking him what's his problem because they're approaching him and trying to give him a break, but he's not willing to accept their generosity because he doesn't want to comply. That's why he's asking him what his problem is. He's not trying to dig into his life, find out, what's his history and all that. And on top of that, this is after he already admitted to being drunk. He already admitted to being drunk. So at that point, I would, if it were me, if I already know I'm wrong, I'm going to comply, especially when they're telling me I'm not in trouble. I'm going to be, all right, whatever y'all need me to do. You need me to sit over there? I sit over there. Just, you know what I mean? Just let me get out of here. Just don't take me in, because at this point, they could take him in. I'm done.
Want to be like when you're at. And I told that I tell you what's going on, and you're just like, ask me what the fuck. When you ask me what the fuck's the problem, yeah, I'm gonna give you an attitude. Yeah, well, no, you're giving me an attitude. I gave you, yeah, you an attitude. Tell me what the fuck's your problem. You know what that means? You guys know what the fuck that means. You guys aren't illiterate. You guys aren't illiterate. No, you're going through some tough shit, dude. But I went through shit. I called you guys didn't do shit. Sorry. I waited 9 days. Sorry, that was
So he has a chip. He has a chip on his shoulder.
for you guys to do shit. Sorry, that wasn't us. I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't like either.
He don't have a chip on his shoulder. He's telling.
Dude, he just said, I called you guys didn't do nothing. Like, that has nothing to do with what's going on today.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on today don't have nothing to do with it. I mean, what I don't even understand what.
So you don't know what you're saying right now. What's going on today? What?
All right, you didn't even let me finish, but I'm
go for it.
That's okay. Never mind.
I know it's not. I know it's okay.
I'm not even gonna argue. You like to over talk. I'm not even gonna do it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay.
Okay, cool.
It ain't shit. Oh, that's good. You guys ain't shit. Well, neither are you. Get you right here. Yeah, well, fuck, I had to get my ass fucking beat. Okay, what's your name? You're detained right now. What's your name?
Now what? Now these cops are out, yo. They're the worst, yo.
He shouldn't be detained, bro.
Why is he detained right now?
Bro, he should have been detained from the beginning.
You tell me. Why is he detained right now?
He should have been detained from the beginning.
Why is he detained right? He said, the cop said several times in this video, you're not in any trouble. As soon as he says, you know,
which the cop was wrong for, by the way.
Okay, no, you're detained, buddy. Get the heck out of here, man.
He should have. You're right. The cop should have detained him immediately.
They should not have. They didn't have no call for what?
Yes, they did. He had open beer canisters behind the wheel of a vehicle on private property that's not his.
Dude, if the owners of that business want to press charge, I don't see them anywhere.
They're the ones that called the cops. They can't interfere right there.
How do you know who
That's
called
putting
the cops?
themselves in harm.
How do you know who called the cops? It didn't say one time.
The police officer said we got a call.
Okay.
Who else is going to call?
How do you know who called? You don't know who
else is going to call? He's been parked there for 4 hours. Who else is going to call?
Don't know. You're speaking from your own made-up version of events.
You're reaching on that. You're reaching, bro.
People call the cops all the time. You don't know who called. I'm not reaching. And then cops rolled up and said, you're not in any trouble. And as soon as he cusses back at them, they cussed at him first. As soon as he cusses back, they said, okay, now now you're detained.
Right, because now I'm not giving you a break anymore.
No, it's fraudulent. And he's still chilling. You have your phone on you. What does that have to do with anything?
Because they're asking him to identify himself. He's not identifying himself.
He gave him an ID number.
Okay, that's that. I can memorize any ID number. I need to see the ID to match the picture.
I depended on you guys for here. Want to hear what you can? I got the fuck beat out of me. I got kicked in the ribs. I defended my mom and my little brother.
What is he talking about?
That wasn't us. Shit. That wasn't us. So can't bring this to. Why you get attitude? If you gave me attitude, you're giving
Yes, exactly.
But what is he talking about? Why are you talking about getting kicked in the ribs and all this nonsense?
Talking about something, incident that he had in which he called the police and they didn't respond to it. And he
That
got,
has nothing to do with this, though.
let me finish. You asked, you got a tendency, man, just to barrel in there. You asked the question and I'm answering your question. He's referring to a previous incident in which he called the police and he was assaulted and the police didn't respond. Does it have anything specifically to do with this incident? No, but you asked the question. I'm telling you. What is
Okay, so I guess you misunderstood the way I was asking the question, or maybe I didn't articulate it correctly. When I said, what is he talking about? I already stated earlier that he had a chip on his shoulder because of something that happened previously and he felt like they didn't respond. So I already know why is he talking about this incident now? That has nothing to do with, when I say, what is he talking about? I mean, like, I meant what, why is he bringing this
about
up?
it? He's bringing it up now because he's saying basically like, you guys are rah-rah over, this, you're here, you're being all rah-rah about, me sleeping in my car or whatever, but then where were y'all when some real stuff was going on? That's
So
what.
let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Would it be okay for the police to say, last time I pulled over a black dude, this did that happen? No, right? That has nothing to do with this particular situation.
It doesn't
It's
have
not even these particular cops, because they're like, I've never seen you before.
But this is what he's saying. So if this is what he's saying, he's not a lawyer, he's not skilled in, the art of articulation or whatever, and that's fine.
He apparently is intelligent because he was just telling them they're not illiterate.
He's just saying what's on his mind. There's
that's nothing to do with what we're talking about.
But it's nothing wrong with it. It's not a violation of the law. It's not a reason to now detain you. You're detained.
That's not why they detained them. That's not why they detained them.
Because he cussed at them.
No, they detained him because he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing.
No, but they said you're not in any trouble. Right.
Yeah, because they were trying to give him a break.
Right. Yeah, listen, now they got another cop coming up, and the dude showed zero signs of aggression.
Bro, he's being resistant. That's their protocol.
Resistant. He's standing there.
That's their protocol.
What? No. Well, yeah, that's right there. It's educational time, okay? So pretty much, got fucking the pretty much what we were trying to do, get him out or make it more friendly. So I give him, is there someone that can come pick your car for? There's someone right now.
Yeah, you want to finish it?
I can. Where's your phone?
Pause it. Pause it.
He said, man,
so they just asked them, is there someone that can come get your car? He said, yeah, somebody's right down the street. And he said, can you call them? He said, yeah, I can, but I'm not going to call them.
Okay.
Come on, dude.
Come on. And he also followed up with, but I'm not going to drive drunk. So what do you?
But you can't stay there. You cannot sit there. You cannot do that. And okay. Once again, if he was on his own private property, or if he was, you know what I'm saying, on a public street where you can park overnight, I would be in agreement with him. But okay. You can't just park at a gas station, block up a pump, and decide I'm staying here until I feel like leaving. You can't do that. And they're giving him ways to get out of any situation. And he's now just being difficult because he has a chip on his shoulder from a call he made previously. That has nothing to do with this current situation.
No, you're wrong, man. But I'm gonna play the video so we can get.
Is he correct? Do you agree with him saying I'm not going to call anybody to come move my vehicle? Do you agree with that?
I don't know why he's saying that.
You didn't answer my question. You never answer my question. You always elude my question.
I don't have enough
answer
information.
yes or no. Do you think based off
I'm not
what
gonna
you know.
answer.
You got to
I'm
go
not
based
gonna
off of the
answer. I'm
information
not
that's
gonna answer
presented.
out of ignorance. I haven't seen the whole
That's
video.
not ignorance. We're watching the video at the
I
same
know,
time.
but we have not seen the whole clip. I don't know.
Right, you don't need to see the whole clip. We're going based off right now. When this happened, when this took place, when he made that and when he gave them that response, he didn't know what was going to happen next. He was living in real time. So I'm asking you, based off of living in real time, do you think that was the proper response?
To say you're not gonna call your friends?
To move the vehicle. When you already admitted to being drunk, they're asking you to have somebody come move the car off of property that does not belong to you.
They're not asking. I don't see. That's why we need to keep watching.
No,
We disagree. I don't think they're asking him to have his vehicle moved.
Bro, they just asked him, do you have someone to come pick up your car?
Yeah, no, they're not. I don't think they're asking him that.
No, we can't go based on what you think. We can rewind the video and play what they said.
I'm not gonna
rewind. We need to go by what you think.
Because it's a 20-minute video. We're not even halfway through it.
Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is, see, you're evading my question, bro.
You're taking this point.
You're evading my question.
You're digging deep. It's not even that great of a point. You
so why can't you answer the question?
Did he call? I'm telling you.
Why can't you answer the question?
I don't know. You're asking me what's the right thing to do and all that. I don't know what the dude is.
I asked you, do you think him saying he's not going to call somebody to move the vehicle on a property that doesn't belong to him after admitting that he's drunk?
He's drunk.
What's the right answer?
That's the whole point. You want me to answer my question. You want me to add validity or discredit or agree with somebody who's inebriated. The dude
I want you to go with what makes sense. I want you to say what makes sense.
Have you ever been drunk?
Of course.
Okay. When you're drunk, do you make the best choices when you're drunk?
Of course not.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to tell you.
So then say that. So all you have to say is, listen, all you have to say is that's not the best response. All you have to say is that's not the best response. However, he's inebriated, so maybe he's not thinking clearly.
He's inebriated. I'm not even gonna comment on his response. He's not in the right frame of mind.
Okay, so he's not in the right frame of mind, so he's making poor choices.
He's not in the right frame of mind, which is why he was sitting in his car.
Which is also why he's making poor choices.
Exactly what you should do if you're inebriated and you don't make good choices.
Not at a gas station.
Say to yourself.
Not at a gas station. So if I'm drunk on the middle of the parkway, I could just stop my car
at a gas station
and block traffic.
You know, if you know you're incapable of driving, you should go to a place that's well lit, that is public, you should not pull over on the side of the road where it's dark. You should not go to, if you can't make it home, that's the best place to go.
Bro, he's not even in I would even have a little bit of different feeling about it if he was parked in just like a customer parking spot.
Well,
he's parked at a
now you're just being petty.
No, I'm not. He's stopping business from operating.
Somebody from pumping their gas. Come on.
He's violating the business right now.
Dude is drunk.
Now, if he was in a regular,
I would rather him do that. I'd rather him do that.
I had a couple of drinks and I felt inebriated, so I parked so I could sober up.
We disagree.
That's different.
All right, everybody, put your comments in this comment section.
Yes, please let us know what you think. Do you think that was the correct response for him to say he's not calling somebody to move the vehicle?
We gotta move forward.
But you gave me a fuck up attitude. Yeah. So therefore I'm gonna give you a fuck up attitude. But I don't give a fuck. You serve me. I pay your fucking.
And he does.
I take that.
You can't stay here. That's trespassing, right? You can't stay here tonight.
If it's not trespassing, I mean,
yeah, you can't stay here. It's trespassing.
Yeah, the business is the one that called us now.
Right. They should have led with that, but okay. Here we are 10 minutes later.
They're trying to give him a break.
Don't give him a break. Don't give him a break. Hey, the reason why
I'm correct. They should have detained him from the beginning. And I said that. I said the police officers made a mistake by not detaining him from the beginning.
You're going to give him a break. Give him a break.
They should have detained him from the beginning.
Hey, buddy, you're in no trouble here. And then 10 minutes later say, well, you're trespassing. And that's okay. They should have came up and said, sir,
they should have detained him from the beginning. I said that.
It's because you've been here for 4 hours, and that's considered trespassing.
I
You know,
agree. They should have detained him from the beginning.
So like,
But understand you're setting precedents for ongoing
so
videos
they set
that police
precedent.
should just go by the book.
Right. They
By the
set
book.
precedent.
Don't give no breaks.
They
That's
set
that's the
precedent.
precedents you're setting right now.
No, I'm not setting any
Yeah,
precedent.
you are.
You're gonna give a break. At least tell what you're getting a break from. They didn't say anything.
Dude, he already knows he's drunk. He already
They
admitted to
didn't
being
say
drunk. He
nothing,
knows
dude.
what
They
he's getting
didn't
a
say
break from.
nothing. I've been pulled over.
He
And the
knows,
cop,
he knows what he's getting a break from.
Listen, I've been pulled over, and the police officers say, "This is why you were speeding. This is why I pulled you over. Let me check your stuff out." Blah blah blah. And then they come back and say, "You know what? I'm gonna let you off with a warning, or this time, hey, just slow down, buddy." Okay, so you have cited the reason why I'm being pulled over. You do not say, "Hey, everything's cool here. You're not no trouble," and then bring it up 10 minutes later. They handled it wrong, and then they escalated by saying, "What the F is your problem, buddy?"
Bro,
and all this stuff.
he admitted to
And
being
now,
drunk.
now the guy is in a mode where now he's upset, Mr. Thomas. Now he's upset, and he should be, because he's been talking wrong way.
That's his business. He shouldn't have been in the wrong. So now they're telling him, I don't know if our videos are at the same point, because you be pausing without me knowing, so mine kept going.
Outside the car on. Yeah. Oh, so we don't want them to tell it. They can hold the tow truck and tell it. So how they get to this?
well, the gas station.
Yeah, that's not when they got told it. Oh, that's so bad. Not when they got told it. Well, he's gonna tow it, but they told him.
Now he's disagreeing with the car being towed. Like, he's just being unreasonable at that point. He doesn't want to call anybody. He doesn't want his car to be towed, but he just want to leave his car blocking a pump at a business that's not his.
Okay, we should go.
I see you ain't respond to that.
Find the what? I'm trying to get through the video.
Of course.
What are you asking for response to?
Let's get through the video. Every time there's something that happened that doesn't play to your narrative.
What are you asking for a response?
Let's get through the video. Now let's get through the video. Go ahead. Let's get through the video. And then help your narrative.
He says, "I do have a weapon in my trunk." Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear that.
He just said that he asked them, could he walk to his car. They said yes. And before he started walking, he said, I do have a weapon in my trunk. So,
and mind you, he still has not given them ID yet. So they can't even identify if he's a legal carrier or not.
no, I'm not saying, I'm saying he's
Right. He's being up for that. But I'm just letting you know from a police perspective, they're gonna be like, okay, how do I know this weapon is legal or not? How do I know this guy's not a criminal or not? They have to think about these things.
All right.
All right, cool. I'll give it back. No worries.
He's taking a long time to grab his phone.
Come back up.
Yeah, get the phone and come back out. What's taking him so long?
Start 43.55, we all went down.
That's so sad.
You guys good? We're good. Let's check. Let's check.
You guys good.
Right
You
now.
guys good. Thanks for both of you.
You guys have one? All right. You okay? Yeah, I'm good, bro.
You're okay. So you need a lot more of these jokers up.
Did he say the gun's down?
God damn it, dude. Why the fuck? Why the fuck, dude? Okay, well.
While we're watching this, I'm gonna also reiterate that we never condone the loss of life.
Yeah, especially a murder like that.
Come on, see, you always taking it to extra situation, man. We don't condone the loss of life.
Murder.
You're making an accusation right now.
You know, I saw it. It's not an accusation.
No, you didn't see it because you don't know what this guy was doing inside the vehicle. And as I said multiple times, I'm like, what's taking him so long to grab his phone?
Right.
After you already tell people you have a weapon, like you shouldn't have taken that long to grab his phone.
Have you ever been inebriated? Have you ever been drunk? You say yes. I said,
Of course.
You make swift and quick decisions. Come on, man.
To grab my phone, yes, I can make swift and quick decisions to grab my phone when I'm inebriated.
Drunk. He's drunk.
I could make quick decisions to grab my phone when I'm drunk. That's not something that I need extra time for.
You don't. So when you're drunk, you find stuff like instantly.
I find my phone. Yes.
All right. Well, then you super drunk guy. Like you.
Thank you.
Alcohol has no effect on you. Okay.
No, that's not true.
But everybody
now you're lying.
else, it takes them a little longer to gather things together when
that was too long. Once you said you had a weapon in the vehicle, that's too long. That made me nervous.
Come on, man. Then no, don't tell him that he can go in his car then.
I agree. That I will give you. They should have went and got the phone for him.
That was a dumb move by the police.
Yeah, they should have went and got the phone for him. I agree with that.
Obviously drunk. Don't tell him, hey, yeah, go ahead, buddy. And then when he start, hey, what's taking you so long, man? And you got a timer on him.
They didn't ask him that. I'm the one that said that.
Told you he has a firearm owner, and then you just
he didn't say he's a firearm owner. He just said he had a firearm in the car.
Told you there was a gun.
Yeah,
And
that's not an own. That doesn't mean he's the owner.
blaze him up after 1 second. You didn't.
Bro, come on. It wasn't 1 second. I said twice, what's taking so long? And then I said it again, bro, what's taking so long? Because I kind of felt the tension. I'm like, yo, like he gotta hurry up. Like he shouldn't be taking that long.
All right. Move on.
Especially after saying there's a weapon in the car.
And how long has he been laying there? And
what do you mean? They called the people. Like they can't touch him. You're not supposed to touch him. The ambulance got to come and touch him.
False.
You said false? You're not allowed to move a body. You're not allowed to move a body that's hit because while you're moving it, you can cause more damage. They're not allowed to move them.
Right. Come on, man.
No, that's the facts, bro. That's the facts. Like even in a situation,
The car, put in handcuffs after they killed them and dragged him out the car, put him in handcuffs, talking about
they're not supposed to do that. If they're not supposed to do that.
So no, go ahead, because you're gonna get yourself in trouble. You're not supposed to administer no help, no first aid, nothing. You're not supposed to do anything like that. Come on.
Bro,
Because you know if I'm asking you, I'm about
listen,
to go ahead.
listen. Let's say they pull them out and start doing chest compressions, and
And-
now the bullet is traveling even more. They're
Oh.
not supposed to move them.
Not supposed to. Okay, got you. I'm gonna
No,
wait.
they really. That's real talk. They're not supposed to move them.
All right, I got you. I hear you, but I'm gonna wait till the end to inform you.
Now, if somebody passes out, just falls out, or was beaten, that's different, but the bullet can still travel at this point, and the bullet can still cause more damage. So they're not supposed to move him if he's shot. I want to know which cop's bullet
Where it comes in.
took him out. Because I don't think it's the cop that was the closest to the car, because I would have thought the window would have been shot through.
I don't know, man. They was all shooting.
And I would love to know if he actually reached for the gun or not. Because I did see him reach,
Yeah, he's trying
but
to
we don't know if it was for the gun or for the cell phone. Dang, that's unfortunate. And once again, we don't condone the loss of life.
especially murders.
Creed, you can't keep doing that, man. You can't say that. We don't know if it's a murder. If he reached for the gun, he should have been shot. If he reached for the gun, he should have been shot.
It's sad, man. That's all I say. It's sad, man.
And once again, this is why I say you go off of emotion, because you're just saying something without knowing if he reached for the gun or not.
Off of emotion. I'm saying it was
You don't know if he reached for the gun or not. The officer said gun.
to you. The officers say a lot of things.
Okay, so we can't go off of either one. We got to wait till the facts come out. You're going off of what you assume right now.
The facts are a dead man. Like he's gonna come back and say, "Hey, everybody, I didn't reach for the gun."
No, the facts can show if his hand is currently towards a gun or towards a phone right now, because they have not touched him.
Yeah, and so many officers have made the mistake between what is a gun and what is a phone.
Okay, but then you can't put that on them.
All right, so
So that's all feeling that's talking right now.
I'm gonna mute the video because EMT services are arriving and so forth, and then we can just talk about the interaction between Keshawn Thomas and the police.
But you got to stop interjecting feeling into the situation. That's not correct. I'm trying to make a point to the audience that we don't condone the loss of life. You interjecting especially murder, like that's not the time to do that.
But I'm trying to convey to the audience.
But that's not the time to do that. That's not the time to do that. You can say that at your closing arguments. If you felt like it was a murder, if you feel like it's a murder, you say that at your closing arguments. Not when I'm making a statement.
Well, look, you have a different set of values than I have.
Right. So that's why you get a closing statement and I get a closing statement.
Centered around human life. So of course, if I watch a video of a guy getting gunned down for what appears to be, to me, a guy who was not confrontational, a guy who was trying to do the right thing, a guy who was...
The guy was not trying to do the right thing. That's a lie.
Right thing in the circumstance that he was in.
No, he was not trying to do the right thing.
Hey, I'm going to go call my friend. Let me go find my phone. And he's inebriated.
He did not say, I want to go call my friend. They offered that to him multiple times.
Oh, you missed that part. He did. And I'm not rewinding.
They offered him that multiple times.
Please don't say rewind the video. The reason why he was going to his car was he said, I'm going to go call someone to come.
Right. After about 3-4 times of them
And I
offering
go
him
to
to
my
do
car.
that.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. He's
So,
going
but don't say a guy that's trying to do the right thing. You prefacing it
do the
to
right
make it seem
thing.
like this guy was an angel, and that's wrong. He was not an angel. Now,
And-
where the
and-
cops, well, one
and
of the
that's
cops
what-
was
and
a
that's
jerk.
what- and
I
that's-
agree. I
and that's
agree.
what
One of the
people do.
cops,
I
one of the cops was aggressive. I
didn't even
agree.
finish my point.
But you don't give, because you're prefacing it with something else. This is not your closing statement.
And
When
then,
you give your closing statement, you can interject whatever feeling you want to interject into it, but you
and
can't
then-
do it in the middle of the back and forth.
no, you asked me. Well, you always interject feeling. And I'm telling you. And then I watched them gun this
I didn't
guy.
ask you anything.
I watched them gun this guy down, and then I say, man, that's really sad. But no, he's not an angel. You demonize this guy.
I didn't demonize him. I just said he's not an angel. And I also said one of the cops was a jerk because he was aggressive.
Excuse me for
So
having.
I balance things. You focus on one side.
Excuse me for feeling something. That
Yeah. Because we're not here to feel. This is supposed to be objective.
Preventable death.
This is supposed to be objective.
A preventable death. That's what it was.
Of course. And as I stated, I never condone the loss of life.
No, but that's not enough. He should.
To you, because that's how you feel.
That is a disclaimer. Oh, we don't condone that. Right? No, I'm saying, I not only do I not condone it, I'm saying that it was a murder, and I'm saying that this guy should still be alive.
That's an opinion, because if the guy reached for his gun, it's not a murder.
That's preventable. It was terrible.
If he reached for his weapon, of the weapon that he had in the vehicle, because we don't even know if it's his.
So do you want to do closing?
No, you go first.
Okay, so obviously, you know the grade. If we to our viewers, we give cops grades at the end of, and I'm not going to even belabor my point. Straight up, F minus. If I could go lower than an F, I would go lower. Their initial interaction with him was not. They should have cited why exactly. If he was in violation of a law, they should have stated what law he was violating. They should have either, if they notice him being inebriated, they should have immediately started action to get him picked up or to get him a ride or whatever, if they were going to do that for him. But they should have stated why he was in any kind of trouble. They didn't state why he was they didn't even detain him until like halfway through the video, where he cursed at them and they were like, okay, now you're detained. But the initial statement from the officer was that you're not in any trouble. And so when you tell somebody you're not in any trouble, but then you try to make demands on it, if I'm not in any trouble, then I'm not being detained. And if I'm not being detained, then you don't get to tell me where I can and can't sit. That's the first point. So this is why the guy said, no, I'm not sitting over there. Like I'll stand over here. The second point is that the gentleman, Mr. Thomas, he showed zero signs of aggression throughout the entire video. He was leaning on his car. He was calm. His voice tone was calm. He initially didn't raise his voice at the police, but they were cursing at him, asking him personal things like, what the F is your problem? What's your effing problem? That's aggressive with the cursing. And it's personal by saying, what is your problem? Like, you have an issue when you've just told me that I'm not in any trouble. Okay. So they escalated that situation. The third thing is when Mr. Thomas was cursed at, he got more irate, and he explained to them, the reason why I'm getting irate is because you disrespecting me. He cited to them, that's not the way police should treat citizens. That's not the way. You should not talk to me that way. And then they said, oh, now you're detained. Okay. And then he then started to comply with what they were saying. After they said you're detained, he then did go over to the curb, and he was on the curb. And then he did say, yeah, I'll call somebody. Can I go get my phone? So after they told him he was detained, he complied with what they were saying. When the other officers showed up, he explained to them, this is why I had an attitude. because they had an attitude with me. They cursed. And then the cop tried to lie. No, we didn't have an attitude with you. Whatever. And he said, oh, all this is recorded. But yeah, it is recorded. We're watching it now. And the cops did inflame the situation. And then the gentleman began to comply. He went on the curb. He said, I do have somebody I can call. He asked for permission. Can I go get my cell phone so I can do that? Everything right. Has already stated that he's inebriated, that he's drunk. He's confessing to that. Asked could he go get his cell phone, and upon going to get his cell phone, he stops and he says, I have to tell you, I have a firearm in the vehicle, which is what legal gun owners know that they have to say to police. And he did say that to them. He goes in his car. He's takes some time to find his cell phone. He's not able to locate it right away. The cops creep up on him. One cop hollers, gun, 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 and they all start shooting at him. And they kill him. On top of that, they did not try to administer any aid to him. They let him lay there in the car. His life he may have been able to be saved if they would have administered immediate emergency services. Police are trained to do that. But I don't know why they just let him lay there. When EMT showed up, he did have a pulse, a faint pulse. But it's possible that if they would have administered services to him immediately, that he may have survived that. So I give him an F, man. Our prayers to his family and his friends. He should not have been shot over that. And the last thing I want to say is, again, Mr. Thomas showed no signs of aggression at any point in that video that was not irrational or anything to indicate that he was going to shoot somebody or that he wanted to enact some revenge on the police. We don't know if he reached for his cell phone or if he reached for his gun. We don't know if what the police thought was a cell phone, a gun was a cell phone, because that's happened too. So nobody's going to know that because the man is not here to tell his side of the story. But I do think that the police acted way too fast. I mean, they yelled gun and they just immediately started firing. You didn't see a gun point at anybody. You didn't hear Mr. Thomas saying, oh, I'm gonna get you MFs, or nothing. They just opened fire. So for that, I give them an F minus as many minuses, and they really should be locked up under the jail, never to see the light of day in a normal society. If at the maximum, at the minimum, they should never be police officers. They're too scared and they don't know how to talk to people. And they just killed somebody. And I hope they're not still on the street to kill other people. And that's all I have to say.
All right, that was a pretty long one, so don't interrupt me or tell me.
You don't have to match it. I'm not going to interrupt you, but you don't have to time me. Just say what you want to say.
I'm just letting you know not to tell me I'm taking too long.
I got nothing else to say.
So, as far as the grade, I'm very conflicted on the grade with this one. If I had to, I have to. So I'm gonna say like D plus, C minus. I'm stuck in between those two, because I like the way they originally approached him. They had him dead to rights, and they was trying to give him a break. I do agree that the officer, there was one particular officer who was using the foul language. He shouldn't have been using the profanity. I don't think he was trying to escalate anything by asking him what's his problem. I think my personal opinion is that he was trying to ask him why aren't you complying when we're clearly trying to give you a break? You're clearly admitted to being drunk. You clearly know yet you're not supposed to be parked here at a gas station pump. And we already told you you're not in trouble, and you're still being combative. They then asked him to call somebody to come move his vehicle. He didn't want to do that, started bringing up situations about phone calls he made about previously to the police, and they didn't show up in the time frame he wanted them to, whatever the case may be. That had nothing to do with this particular situation. I understand he might feel some type of way because of police, because when he needed them, they weren't there, which is a different problem that he needs to address in a different manner. But this wasn't the time or place, and he was inebriated. Once the officer, who I'm giving a balanced view, used the profanity against him that he shouldn't have, he then became completely oppositional until the third officer showed up to the scene. When the third officer showed up to the scene, he started complying a little bit more. He went and sat down. They had a conversation. They then again asked him to call somebody to come get the vehicle, and he originally said he could, and somebody's right down the street, but he's not going to. It took him at least 3 times to ask him to call somebody, or then they told him, well, the vehicle's going to have to get towed. And he's like, no, they're not towing my vehicle. There was many opportunities for this to have ended in a more positive light. Once again, we never condone the loss of life. I do agree that the police officer once he established that he had a weapon, they should not have let him go to the vehicle. They should have said, all right, well, you stay here. We'll go get the phone for you. That was a very poor choice, and that's why I'm so conflicted with what happened. And then he went in the vehicle, and as you've seen, this was the first time both of us saw this. I had never seen this video. You had never seen this video. I said multiple times, what's taking him so long? What's taking him so long? Because I know if I tell the police that I have a weapon and I'm going to get a phone out my car, I'm going to be very quick. He has very dark tints, you know what I'm saying, in his vehicle. And then the car door moved at one point. It just didn't feel right, you know what I mean, for me. And I was saying, what's taking him so long? Because I'm concerned for him, because I didn't want it to end up this way. You know what I mean? But he took a very long time trying to get his cell phone. And if I saw it correctly, I believe it's the officer that he was compliant with that yelled gun. So I don't know what he reached for. We did see him reach. I don't know what he reached for. I don't know if he reached for the gun or the cell phone. So that's undetermined. So we can't say if it was a right call to say gun and for them to let loose on him, or if it was the wrong call. We never condone the loss of life, but when I say we never condone the loss of life, I think both parties should take the steps necessary to preserve life. And in this situation, I felt like the pedestrian had a lot of opportunities to prevent the loss of life. And like I said, the officers made that mistake of sending him into the vehicle after him and letting them know that he had a weapon in the car. So I'm gonna give him something. I'm stuck between a D minus, a C minus and D plus, because like I said, I appreciated the way that they were trying to give him a break. They gave him multiple options on how to exit the situation. They told him he can walk home and the car would get towed. They gave him options, and he wasn't agreeing or complying to any of the options. He still never. I never saw him even produce his identification to them. So, you know, it could have gotten aggressive a lot sooner. It could have gotten bad a lot sooner, but they, you know, one cop, I will say, the one that was cursing, he was a bit aggressive, but the other 2 police officers, I think, handled themselves very well. We don't know what he reached for, so, you know, unless we can find the results of how they found the body position. As far as them giving aid, anytime a human is shot, you're not supposed to move that body, because the bullets, the fragments, sometimes depending on what the type of bullet it is, there are bullets that are created to once it penetrates your body, it shatters so that particles can spread throughout the body. So they're not allowed to administer when there's a shot. Now, if somebody just collapses or do something else, they're supposed to do first aid on them. That you can't do first aid on somebody that is shot, because you don't know where the bullet is interior wise. And if the bullet was half a centimeter away from his heart and you go to do a chest compression and you push it into his heart, you could have caused the death. So they're not allowed to do first aid when there's a shooting. So once again, I'm gonna give him somewhere between a D plus and a C minus. I don't condone the loss of life. There was plenty of opportunities that the situation could have went differently, and rest in peace to the brother that passed away. Regardless of what the situation is, he went a little too soon in this particular situation. We do have some information. We do know, Paul, after this situation that two of the officers were given written reprimands, and one police officer was let go from the department. We don't have any information on as far as any charges. I don't believe any charges were filed against them, but two of them were given written reprimands, meaning that they're probably still working. And I would assume it's the one that was cursing that probably got let go. Because I will agree.
It was one, the one that was on the other side of his door.
The one that he was complying with the most?
I don't know which one if that was.
Yeah, the one I
The
remember.
positioning of it, our viewers can go back and look at it. There was one officer that was not in position to actually see a gun or actually see anything. They fired him. The other two, they felt they could have adequate view to see whatever they said they saw, that they did not get fired. So it wasn't about which one he
Okay.
It was one on the other side of the door. It was two on the
Right, because he couldn't really see.
Couldn't see. And so they were basically insinuating he was just reacting off of what they were saying. Well, like when they said gun, 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 he reacted.
But that's strange. I thought that's what they're supposed to do.
I don't know.
If my partner screams gun, I would assume that's what I'm supposed to do.
I don't know.
Right?
I don't know. I'm just quoting what said in the article. And also said in the article that that they were all reprimanded for policy violation, and I'm reading from this article. It's from Albuquerque Journal. This is the one I read to you earlier, so I'm not sneaking that in. And it says that investigators stated that officers Marcos Flores, Dustin Ketchum, and Kenneth Skeens failed to render aid to Mr. Thomas. And that's in regards to after he got shot, they should have rendered aid to him, and they did it. So they were all reprimanded for that, not rendering aid, and then for not de-escalating. That's what the reprimands were for, was not rendering aid as per police policy. It says they violated police policy. And they violated.
That's strange, because I've heard in other situations, and I know some officers, when somebody is shot, because like you said, you don't know where the bullet is inside, and and there are bullets that are literally created for when it pierces, it explodes and fragments spread because it makes it more deadly. So when you go to render aid, you can't cause more harm.
I'm just saying. I'm just reading from the article. I've heard what you're saying too, so I'm not gonna act like I've never heard that. I have heard that, but this is what they were reprimanded for. And I would like to add that Mr. Thomas was 27 years old, and that he was a legal gun owner. So he had a concealed carry license, and he has always carried his magazine for his gun in his trunk. And so he kept the gun in the cab of the vehicle, but the magazine, the clip would be in the trunk. And so so that's it, according to his attorney, what the police showed up for was supposed to be a welfare check. And, those are dangerous. It always turns into what we see here. So
doesn't always. You can't throw that in. It does not always turn into this. Rest in peace to the brother. Never condone the loss of life. However, that different measures should have been taken by both parties, which could have preserved their life.
Police have the burden, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
Here we go. Of course, you always try to throw something in, and they leave it at that because you want to walk away with.
Police.
Listen,
They escalated the situation.
And so did he.
And yeah, rest in peace to the brother, but you should not be resting in peace. You should be alive, vibrant. You should be out here, you know, almost 28 years old probably by now and living your life. But
Agreed. You should have been a little bit more compliant and saved your life.
you should have, you know, I'm sorry that you encountered these police. But this is Good Cop, Bad Cop Clips. As always, like, share, subscribe.
Let us know what your thoughts are. Tell us what you think. How do you feel about this particular situation? What do you grade the police officers and how they behave? Do you think the pedestrian was as compliant as he should have been, or do you think he could have complied a little bit more? Tell us your thoughts.
And we'll see you on the next time. Peace.